Today we are going to be talking about all things Black in celebration of Black History Month. So let me give a little context around why we are having this discussion, right? So first we're going to start passing the food though, because we are famished. Do I have to pass politely? We at home.
The Instagram page or
Instagram.
Okay.
We're at home, so you guys are joining us while we have a late lunch. So hopefully you have something to eat too if you need it. But the context of this conversation is, of course, well, that's what you get for passing it to me, trying to be cute.
Sorry.
I'm saying. Here you go, Kevin. The context of this conversation is, of course, we are all professional and very much so in positions of authority and where we can make change purposefully. In that, what we were talking about on one of our meetings is the things that go on in the world, and we associate it to, you know, kind of slavery being over, or we're not experiencing certain things because we've quote unquote come so far. And in those conversations, we also uncovered during our truth conversation, we have a lot of truths between us, and that's all that you'll find at Divine Purpose. We have truths with our girls and truths with ourselves. Otherwise, how can we be an impact to our community? So with that, some of the things that we were talking about were, giving an example, was it Venus or Serena that had the base? Serena?
Yes.
Serena. Okay, so Serena had the experience when she had her baby that they didn't listen to her when she had complications. Thus, she almost passed away giving childbirth. That is something that we as Black women, and I'm sure other minorities too, have experienced since the beginning of time, in that we are not respected the same, treated the same. Those same things that are available to everybody else are not available to us. And so until those things start to happen, especially relates to our health and our safety and our protection and our education, how about just because we woke up breathing, we deserve to have the same thing, right? Because I'm not going to go down the list.
Amen.
Right? Because the list would have kept going as I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to leave anything open because I don't want somebody listening thinking, oh, well, they don't care about this. And I don't speak for they.
Exactly.
I speak for me and how I feel. If any African American person tells you something is important to them, it should be respected as important to them, because you never know what it's attached to, and it's not your business to. Because at the bottom line, we deserve to be respected and treated the same for everything.
Exactly.
Right? So
yes,
we are going to go around the table and give our name, what our profession is, and then we'll get into some questions.
Awesome.
Okay.
So my name is J. Michelle, but I go by J or Mish. And I'm a mental health professional. I'm a family advocate for Riverside County's behavioral health.
That was so cute. My name is Asia. I'm actually the CEO and founder of Divine Purpose. I have YouTube channels, and they are tagged in any post that you find for us. More specifically, my background is in HR, where that is where I've gained most of my insight, respect, and definitely my eyes being open to, just because you made it doesn't mean everybody made it, and it doesn't mean it looks the way that it should. So respecting each other. So foundationally HR, and I am now a PM because HR ran me low.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Michelle, and I am a board member here with Divine Purpose. My profession, I work in law enforcement. I've been doing this for about 22 years. Currently, I work with women that are transitioning back into their communities, helping them find housing and get resources to help them get back on their feet. I do a whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of stuff. Also, I'm a licensed and ordained minister. All that good stuff. So, just excited to be here and to share with you all today.
Hello, my name is Sherry, and I'm an HR consultant. I've been doing that for 30 years. I've seen a lot of, I don't know what I want to call it. Okay, now I'm saying, so what, okay, well, yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff. So what I will say is I'm happy to see now that they are starting starting to have, diversity and inclusion, even though I still don't feel like it is where it needs to be. But I'm happy that it is going in that direction. The other thing I do is career coaching and executive coaching, so still within the HR field. But I'm just happy to see more people that look like me. When I go out to companies. I will say this, when I first started as a consultant, very, very hard. When I would show up, they'd be like, who are you?
Right. Almost like they didn't belong there.
And then it's like, okay, so you gonna tell us what? Who are you? And I'm like, okay, I got degrees.
Right.
I think I know what I'm talking about. That's the reason why I'm here.
That part.
Somebody talked to me over the phone, but now before we got all in this Zoom and everybody can see everybody. And the other thing I'm gonna say, why do we have to change our voice? Right. That part right there.
I am so good at that.
Or when you're talking to someone, and that could just actually be your normal voice.
Yes.
But when you show up,
they don't believe it's you.
Yeah.
I experienced that.
So yeah, I have a lot of HR stories.
I will add.
Pretty good.
I don't do gristle. I do not clean the bone.
I love it.
That part.
All flats. I was like, my girl. No.
I take care of people. How do you feel we can strengthen our community as a whole? And again, this is related to all black everything. And we can start it anywhere.
Okay.
Start anywhere.
I'll go first. I think it starts with families. I think that it starts with having a respect for family structure. I think in our community, in comparison to others, I have not done an actual study on it, so don't quote me on this, but just from my personal observation, I don't think we as black people value marriages and families and building, because that's where your foundation starts. And a lot of, we talked about some of the mental health issues, and a lot of things that we have is stemmed in that. Even driving over here, I was thinking about, if you're not encouraged as a child growing up by your parents, having them speak positively into your life, that you can do what, me, and everything is scripture based for me, you can do all things, that's, and letting your children know who they are, giving them a foundation for knowing their identity at an early age. So, what's happening is, because we don't have that family structure, we're left with a lot of people that's just out here trying to figure it out. So, like most of our family structure has been in education. So education was a no-brainer for most of us at this table, right? Because it was like, you going to school. Why? Because our parents went to, they valued that back then. For me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord. You going to church.
Right.
So a lot of it was from family, from how we were brought up and how we were raised. So I think, just in short, we have to get back to a family structure. And that doesn't matter, whatever your belief, spiritually, whatever, that's, your belief. But I do know a lot of it is rooted and grounded in that familiar structure. And I think we've lost that as a community. We need to get back to it. Not everyone, because I do know some very strong black families, like for reals. But for the most part, we definitely need to get back to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let the church say.
I can go next.
Okay.
Well, I feel like strengthening the community, it starts with supporting one another.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially with social media nowadays, it just takes one click to share a friend's business, to encourage somebody when they reach their height in their career or their education. That goes a long way. And Divine Purpose, that's a part of strengthening the community.
Yes.
We're trying to help these girls, obtain their goals. Absolutely. And that's all of our goals, so they won't make the same mistakes that we made. So, and that could be with taking student loans out. That could be with lack of resources in general. Putting them ahead of the game as far as different career paths. Putting them in the the pathway of individuals who have the same career goals or, you know, in the same career that they are.
Made it.
Those little things go a long way. And, you know, we probably wish that we had somebody at that point, you know, that said, oh, you want to, you know, get a degree in sociology? I went to school for that. You know, well, this is a good school. You know, little things like that go a long way. So sharing, supporting, you know, within our community, encouraging one another, you know, making sure that our kids know that they can do anything. You know, that's very important. And, you know, just encouraging one another, I think. It's different than it was back in the day, because back in the day, you had the community, you know, support. You lived by your family.
Pay their rent, they had a
rent party.
Nowadays, well, that's your problem.
No, nowadays you record them. Oh, I gave such and such $20 so they could pay their rent because God told me to, and I'm amazing. Well, what's this about them? Why is it even on social media?
Right.
Like, I don't get it.
Right. So yes, I feel like that's very important. You know,
it's very, very important.
And I'm a piggyback on that. Okay, so I'm a piggyback on the community of working together. So coming from a Southern raised family, I think everybody helped everybody. My family is from Louisiana, and so like you said, whoever didn't have, you did have.
Right.
That's the part.
It was a village.
Yeah, you did have. I'm just amazed at people being hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like if I made enough, I'ma share.
Right. Absolutely.
Because we throw away so much food. This is off topic, but still, but
people that we know that don't reach out, that's hungry, that's in need.
Right.
And like you said, they're probably too ashamed or embarrassed to reach out.
And that's the other thing. Do not be embarrassed. Do not be embarrassed. We are here. I feel we all are here to help each other. We all have some form of knowledge. We all don't know everything, but you don't know if you don't talk. If you don't open your mouth, how is somebody gonna know you don't have money, you don't have food? Maybe you need a ride.
That's right.
Because we in California, y'all, transportation is and transportation is horrible. If you don't have a car, it is really hard to get places.
Yeah.
But it's just asking. You don't know who is willing to help you if you don't ask. And I was brought up with the ask.
And to piggyback on what you're saying, even having worked with our organization, it actually hurts my heart that people that we know personally, that know what we do for these young girls, have not reached out to us.
It breaks our heart.
And it's like, we cannot, like this, as an organization, we need you to come to us, fill out the paperwork, and then we can get the ball rolling.
Exactly.
But then people will be like, oh, I didn't know that's what you do. How did you not know that's what we do? And whether it's with books, we've helped, and not saying what we've done a lot of things behind the scenes. And we don't post it, and we don't put it all the business out there of everything that we have done in the last few years.
Right.
But those that know, you know. And so that what you're saying is so like heartbreaking, because there are high school girls right now that our friends and family are raising. And I'm like, why aren't they a part of our program? Because we still have to follow rules and guidelines, y'all. So just because we know you,
we're a real nonprofit.
501c3, you can look it up.
Right.
So don't get offended, because we have to service the community, is
Right.
what I like to say. But we know y'all, so like,
right.
like,
we try not to call y'all out.
put your application in so we can get these resources to these young girls, so we can get them the help that they need. So don't be too proud to ask. That's what we're here for. And even what Jamisha said, we all came through our own personal struggles to get to where we are. And still struggling. But what we know, we want to share for those that are coming behind us.
Exactly.
And there's no reason to go hungry. If you need food, I have a list of food banks.
We have
you can contact me.
Right.
Riverside County.
Y'all really care about hunger, because that probably breaks our heart the most. Because no child should be hungry. Like, we have literally gotten messages about things and not attached our face to it because of that person's embarrassment. Because I love the way my nonprofit works, and the thing that surprised me the most out of all of these ladies is I've never seen them even slip up with attaching a name to what they do, because that is most important. I don't want anybody to feel like embarrassed, right? So if you reach out to us in whatever way we can help you, we're going to help you. If it's that, can you leave it at the front door because you don't want to see us because you're ashamed? I don't care that you're ashamed. I care that, how do you want me to give this to you? Because that's
how can we get it to you?
Yeah, how can we get it to you? And fast. We have delivered after work, Cash App. We don't have Cash App anymore, but we have made it happen. In state, out of state, gone on trip. Whatever we can do, we will do, because we really feel like that is our calling, right?
Exactly. And that's what, like what you're saying, like even outside of the organization, which is why I believe we came together so well, because this is what we were doing anyway. Right. So now we're able to attach it to a bigger entity and an actual organization. Right. You are already helping people. That's all I do all day, every day. As I'm blessed, I'm like, okay, who can I be a blessing to? Right. But it always comes back.
It does.
I don't go way, form, somehow, it definitely always comes back.
Right.
And to me, as a community, if you fail, I fail.
Yeah.
I take it very personally. I take it very personally.
Like,
if your child fails and I'm a part of their life in some way, shape, or form, then guess what? I'm taking that L as well. I'm taking it as well.
That part. So for me, how do I think we can strengthen our community as a whole? All the ladies already touched on it. What I will say as well, so I'll come from the other side. There are people who believe, and when we talk about being black, we're going to call out what you do as a black person too. Once you make it and you have this degree that says you've done this wonderful thing for you, and you may not have encountered certain things because you surrounded yourself with not having to deal with it, and I guess you don't put on the TV. You begin to feel better than, or disassociate yourself with what is going on, and disassociation is approval to me. We know that it's happening, we know that it's going on, and so I personally feel that a lot of why I got my degree was because I wanted to show a little girl that looked like me that you could get a degree. I got a degree in everything I wanted to because I wanted to show that you could. The sacrifice for me was the student loans, but here's what I will say. The way that I was able to handle that is, I don't mind going to get a car note that I'm going to have to pay. I'm going to have to pay Edison forever. I'm going to have to pay water forever. So if I can pay those things, which by the way are more than my student loan bill with all of the things that are going on, right? Why would I not invest in myself? So when I hear people saying like you can't pay for education, why? Because those shoes on your feet is like a year's worth of pay, right? Being willing to sacrifice as well to that person that made it, and you're forgetting to reach back. If you are not in a place where you emotionally can, because it's a lot going on, right? So you have to be sensitive. If you can give it from a place of writing a check, just acknowledge that something is happening. If you write a $25 check, because that's what you can write, to a homeless shelter, whatever touches your heart, do it. If you can, to Misha's point, hit the forward button, because that's something that you believe in. But disassociation is approval, and that is making it worse because forgive me when I say this. I'm sorry, don't forgive me when I say this because it's the truth. When you associate yourself with certain other races, predominantly white, male, then you feel like if you are telling them these things like this doesn't happen, or only a criminal, or it's because they're from a low-income neighborhood, or it's because of this, I'll end with this piece for what I have to say. It literally says in the Bible that it's easier for a poor man to get to heaven, and the reason why is because of disassociation and the things that you do. I am from a not rich family, but the values that I've been taught, they're phenomenal. They have led me to places that I could not have gotten on my own. The friendships that they have built, the blessings that I have gotten, and I didn't do anything for those blessings. It's a feel good in the pit of my stomach. So back to what Michelle was saying, when we know that people need different things, we literally feel sick trying to figure out how to do it and stay within the parameters of what we're legally required to do.
Exactly.
And oftentimes that has led to us breaking out our own checkbook. But why do we have to? If everybody did one thing, it would be much easier for us to save ourselves. And if that one thing that you need to address is that you are not solidifying what the white man thinks or what somebody thinks that is not a part of our culture, I'm going to ask on behalf of us, now I am speaking for us, please shut up. Okay? Because I'm HR and I was behind those doors where people was talking like I wasn't sitting there. And I know exactly how some of them feel about us. And those positions are an authority, which is why we're still dealing with some of the things we're dealing with. So that is what I feel can make us better as a community. Stop disassociating yourself because it's not you all of a sudden. Because you're still the same color and it could be you tomorrow.
Exactly.
So that's for me.
All right. Yes, absolutely. And it's so important, like what you're saying too, in terms of strengthening our community. We have to support each other. You know, and Asia and I, we talked about it several times. People that we know personally, they see what we're doing, and sometimes it's hard to get your own people to support you.
Because we don't got our tail bent over and we're not talking and gossiping.
Right.
We're
We
talking
had
about
total strangers donate, contribute, people I don't even know, volunteering. And you know, and we don't, everybody has their own thing going on, but just to share the posts, the things that we have going on. This is a part of strengthening our community. And a lot of times, sometimes people, we don't know what we can do. Call us, text us, inbox us. We'll let you know there's plenty of things that we do have going on. So maybe you want to be a part of the organization, or you want to help, or you know, you want to give back to your community, because this is how we strengthen each other. With your knowledge, your information. We're looking for graphic designers, editors. We have a whole bunch of stuff that content creators. All of that. This is a part of strengthening what we do. You know, and it's important to donate your time. Like you said, just because you feel like you made it, now it's time to go and give back.
Right. And not always for money. We are a 501c, and all of us, I can tell you this, and mark my words, it's true. Look on the IRS website. There has not been one dime paid to anybody on this board. 100% of the money that we have raised has gone to the girls. The other money, as far as foundational costs, operational costs, that was written in a private check from me.
Yes.
And that is 100% true. Yes. Because that's what we believe in, and that's where we are. Meaning, we are making a sacrifice. Like, we're not doing this for money. And sometimes we are getting paid. Because we're not getting paid. So we're bringing what we have to the table.
Yes.
Period. So we're not asking for something that we don't do, is what I want to say with that.
So, Asia, you brought up the things that go on behind closed doors in corporate America. And so one of our questions is, what advice would you give your 16-year-old self about mental health in the workforce? Because I think that's so important, because there are a lot of things, even myself, that I've experienced in 22 years in law enforcement. You brought it up, like, what are you doing here? It's like, I belong here. And sometimes even my name throw people off too. So when they put a face with it, it's like, oh, we weren't expecting her. And then when you begin to speak, and you actually have knowledge in more than others.
So well.
Right.
We're not supposed to be in it. Like, what?
I'm supposed to be dimming and doing.
Right. I mean, I do speak hood.
All of that. And it's where you know, whatever setting I'm in, I am able to adapt.
Exactly.
So,
but no, as a race, we have been taught that. I think we have been taught that, because if you go back to slavery, is a certain way they had to act. You couldn't look at the master. You couldn't look. I mean, you know, and even when you got into the 50s, 40s, 60s, whatever, you couldn't. Everybody had to look down.
Just like that.
You couldn't look up.
With the boy, with the son that got in trouble for whistling. Emmett Till.
Yeah.
So that's current.
And so we've actually been
conditioned.
There you go. There you go. Conditioned to act a certain way. And we need to break that.
Now, Sherry, I'll say this though. because sometimes people do be embarrassing me.
Baby,
I'm like, wait a minute.
But that's
we
because-
still have to be professional.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what,
Like,
remember,
be who
for
you
certain
are.
people, they don't know
They know
better.
better, yeah.
And to know better, you have to learn better.
Yeah.
And depending on your environment,
But when
some
you know
people
better,
never-
you need to do better.
Yes.
Yeah, but depending
Yeah.
on certain people's environment, sometimes they don't have what I'll say the opportunities that we have had to not be in that situation to where that's all you know.
Right.
Except if you signed up for
So if you
Divine
find purpose, shameless plug. When you sign up, you will learn the rules of femininity, professionalism, etiquette. For every occasion,
Exactly.
you should see our group text. We go from hood to professional.
Like, oh, we rolling or we rolling? Oh, no, we good. Okay.
So, but you will be very well rounded with this group. But no, so sometimes though, getting back to the 16-year-old self,
Yes.
myself, I think for me, it would be to not dumb down,
Yes.
to not be intimidated.
Yes.
You know what you know. One thing my grandmother always told me is that nobody can take away what you know.
Right.
And so sometimes what I found, I would dumb down, and then the project would go left.
Yep.
And I'm like, if I had said, I could
Yeah.
actually save this whole situation
I
by
could've
speaking
saved
up.
it. Exactly.
And so it took some years for me to step up and say, you know what, whether you like how I look, what's coming out of my mouth, this is how we're going to do it. And then when they hear it, they're like, oh yeah, that's the route we're going to go. And you're going to gain respect from that. People will respect you for the work that you contribute and what you do. And so sometimes I think, especially as a young black girl, growing up in Pomona, definitely well-rounded. So sometimes I wouldn't speak up in certain environments because, I'm like, well, they're not going to hear what I have to say, or
take it the right way.
even thinking that others were smarter than me when they really weren't.
Yeah.
They
Right.
really weren't. Yeah, I'm like, you guys have like all this years and experience and education behind you, and you can't figure this out. So,
So can I say that coming from the hood, I will say that's a great point. Not thinking that you know more than other people because they have a different education or more experience. I would say growing up in the hood is a career.
it is. You have to know.
You got to
gotta know how
strategically
to
plan
shake and
what you can
move.
do, where you can
What
go,
street you
how to
gonna drive
behave.
down.
Exactly.
So I actually
What color not to wear?
That's hard. Who to date, who not to date, So I learned more strategically from how I was brought up. And that's why you actually brought more to the table.
True.
Yeah, credit to where you come from.
As a 16-year-old girl, I would tell myself everything that you've learned up to this point is gonna help you one day.
Right. That's the good.
Yes. So don't dumb down. Walk into the fullness of who you are, and everything's gonna be okay. That's what I definitely would have told myself back then. Because back then, if someone would have told me I would be sitting in a position I'm in now, I probably would have laughed.
Me too.
Because at 16, my life was falling apart. So at 16, I mean, it just, it was what it was.
Where you thought
I thought it was. And so, to keep going and, don't be intimidated by who you are. Yeah.
So you want to know what I would tell my 16-year-old self
About
in the
mental
HR
health.
position?
Yes, about mental health in the workforce.
So I would definitely say I would tell my 16-year-old self, knowing what I learned in HR, be prepared to hear the things that you see on TV. And this is what I mean by that. We see shows depicting how black people are treated, but it's almost like it's fiction. And so you don't believe that those are the things you'll hear because they kind of try to disassociate slavery from continuing all these decades. And so what you don't see is the watered down, underhanded approach to how we are treated because we are still in some forms of slavery in every single thing that we do. And so entering into HR, I personally entered it because at 19, I walked into my first careerish job, and it was nobody that looked like us. I didn't know what HR did. And once I learned what they did, I was like, well, how is it nobody here? And they didn't understand the way I was answering questions. And I was answering them regular, but they didn't understand. Which, by the way, happened to me on an interview like 3 years ago. But I called them out on it because I know what I know today, right? But again, it's the disassociation thing. Those things are still happening. Be prepared to be talked to a certain kind of way and know your approach and how you respond. Because if you believe those things are true, you can better prepare yourself to deal with them. Versus being caught off guard because this ain't happening, or the movies depicted in the black person going from 0 to 60, and then the message is lost that you mistreated me because the anger at the end overshadows everything. Allow yourself to be aware of the climate, be aware of the career you're picking, be aware of your surroundings and what's really going on in life. That way you can talk through some of these things with your good girlfriends. You can talk through some of these things with your parents. You can sit down, which a lot of people don't do, and talk to your grandparents, the elders in your family. They have such a wealth of knowledge, but our young people are not making time to sit down and talk to the people that's your match.
So Asia, just the other week, I have a young lady who called me. She's been working at a store, a familiar store, and she called me and she said, oh my gosh, I think I lost my job because the way the manager talked to me. So what you just said, I was able to coach her in how to make sure she secured her job and secured her bag,
right.
Because I've had experience in that area. She called me back, and so this is what we're here for, what we're talking about.
It's
maybe
real.
you can't reach out to a grandparent or aunt. Maybe they have not had these kind of experience in corporate and working with people where they don't have the tools.
Right.
So she called me, she's like, I got my job, I'm okay. So I was able to help coach her through that. Time won't permit what I told her. That's why you need to get your kids a part of this program.
Right.
Call me. I was able to talk to her and let her know how to kind of
still
flip
protect
the script.
yourself.
If we need to
Put the
take
problem back
that
where the foundation is, not in how it's
Thank
funded.
you.
Hello.
And so I'm like, either you'll own the store or they'll let you keep working for it. How about that?
That part. I was talking to my mom last night about this because I'm going through something at work. But I was telling her in HR, the best part for me there was a situation where a young black girl leaped across the table to choke somebody. Okay? Everybody else in that room focused on her leaping across the table to choke the person, right? Because it's logical. After it was all over and HR and management were sitting in the room, the only black girl, young, a woman, most educated, they don't like that about us if they are insecure about that. So I'm a target. But guess what I didn't do? Shut my mouth. Because all they could do is talk about how she was from this place, so that's probably why she jumped across the table like that. And I said, well, I have a question, because that's my favorite thing. I have a question. What would make her jump across the table? You must have really worked on her. What did you do to her? Because we're not going to lose sight of what you did to her, because it is no way that this girl that's super quiet, and the girl she was super quiet, had a child, so you know that single mother, my friend, you trying to keep your job, and we paid really well. It was hard to get in. What'd you do to her? That's what I wanted to know. And just so we're aware, I'm going to call her at home. Because guaranteed, when she jumped across that table, she never asked to keep her job. She was willing to sacrifice her job. Because when you do somebody like that, you're at that point, you already determined, the next time this person does this to me,
and what people don't realize is that there are company
abuse.
policies and procedures that they must follow. And so, but if you do not have the experience in understanding that, you don't know that.
Right in the book.
Please don't jump across the table.
But don't jump across the table.
But going back to what we were saying about, being that 16-year-old and being in that workforce, that's what we're here for. Like, there are things that's going to come up that you're not aware of and you don't know how to handle it.
And you don't have
We've
to
been there, done that. And so we can help coach you through how to, before you get to the point. We know, I've dealt with legal things on my job and things that I've had to fight. And so the fight won't be as hard for the next person. So I'm glad that I went through certain experiences, because now I can be calm and say, you know, don't jump on the table, don't go off, don't, because like if we get upset, we were talking about this before we went live, it's like, oh, the angry black woman.
And that's my whole, what did I say? I said the translation was lost, right? So in that moment, she had an opportunity to make a decision on, do I want to shed light on what this Caucasian woman is doing to me because I'm a black young girl, because it was expressed in previous meetings, or am I going to jump across this table because I already know they think this and know they think that. It doesn't matter what you think they know. If you handle it a certain way, it's nothing that they can do other than listen to you and now go forward and respect you. Don't make it harder for us going forward. Make it so that the next person, it'll be lighter and lighter, and eventually they'll weed them out. What has been able to be rested on is the angry black woman. Oh, she's angry. Well, how am I angry? I'm just passionate in what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
My coworker could be passionate. Why can't I be passionate? I mean, you're actually bullying me. So, and use those words if that's what you feel like is happening. But that's why the words are very.
Don't give all our tools, because they gotta do it.
Okay.
So this is why it's so important to stay connected.
She always telling not to give away our stuff.
They gotta join the group.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
We can't give it.
I can't say
We can't just give it away. We give it away, but you gotta be a part of it.
Right.
Okay. And for free, but you gotta be a part of what we do.
Okay. This is our big thing. She keeps me in charge. Executive did you guys give her roles? Executive secretary / my boss. All hell to shit.
Yes.
And then executive the paperwork, bullying me. You bully me sometimes.
Oh no, I don't.
But we talked through it.
Yes.
And what I found is that she was just mentoring me and coaching me.
Exactly. Yes, that's what it is.
Criticism.
It's mentoring. It's not bullying.
Because we talked about it. My perception was wrong. And we talked about it.
Exactly.
And we have to talk about it.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we all have our roles of what we do in our organization, and it has definitely come together beautifully.
Yes, it has.
And it has not been an easy few years, but
And wait a minute. Not look.
okay.
4 black women working together.
Come on
It
now.
can happen.
And there is no jealousy.
Exactly.
I'm like, go forward. Do your thing.
No.
Everybody knows
And everybody thinks black women can't work together and accomplish stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
And our paths were not the same. Our careers that we heard are not the same. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're similar.
Yes, we are.
HR.
Hence why she thinks she could tell me what to do. And I listen. I give you both.
And that's the
but it works for the benefit of the
mentor.
company.
That's the importance of having people in your life.
Yeah, I don't have no pride.
Exactly. And then there are things that I think I've learned. Actually, I've learned from each and every one of you at this table. Literally,
I was much more shy at first.
I've learned so much. And so, like that's what you're saying. As a sisterhood, it's important that we come together, because you have a tool that I might need. You have a tool that I have something hopefully that you can use and value to you. And so when we come together, there's nothing we can't do.
Exactly.
And then even with the young girls that are a part of our program, shout out to our young girls. So we got to do that really right quick. Time is moving along, ladies. So we have Olafeme,
Our senior.
Kiera, shout out, and Shay. I used to call her Leah, but Shay, we just love our girls that are participating in this program this year. We make sure you go on our website, www.divinepurpose.org.com. See there. Make sure you go on our website to find out when you can enroll and register any girls that you may have. We also have our alumni, our Michaela, Jordan, and Jada. Shout out to you ladies.
Hey.
We've had so much fun with these young ladies. Being able to mentor them. They have our numbers. They can call us anytime that they need anything.
Could they stop calling at 2 in the morning?
Anytime. I don't know. I think I'm intimidating the girls, because they don't call. I'll be up. They can call me at 2.
Y'all hear that?
I'm insomnia. Like I.
Oh, wait a minute.
I am married now, so.
Well, they can't call call you.
No, yeah, they can.
I can go downstairs.
Okay.
I'm gonna forward it. I'm gonna forward the messages.
No, I'll take the call at 2. Okay, forward it to me.
Okay.
Okay, no, I think because of my career in law enforcement, maybe they are a little bit. I'm like, listen, anything. I've been there, done all of that. Hey, I can't go into it because. But just know, I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Okay.
So we have so much fun with the girls, and one of the main things that we focus on is helping them with their prom. And so prom has gotten so expensive. It's like
It's like a
it's like a wedding.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have dresses that are custom made by
Beautiful.
Now she's busy this year, so y'all could go to her webpage, but you probably won't get her till 2023. But take a look at what she has. I mean, she's made some beautiful, beautiful dresses. And so what we do, the girls have to submit their transcripts. They have to complete our program. It's a real program, okay?
Yes.
They have things that they have to get done in order to participate and in order to get the grant for the prom, okay? But we have so much fun. Now, speaking of prom, we also have an adult prom. And this is a fundraiser to help the girls with their prom, okay? And this is a time for us grown folks. Yes, to shop. It's a reason for us grown folks to get together. And we have our prom.
Exactly. And what if you didn't get to go to your prom?
Which I didn't.
Which I did because I had come to dress for your prom.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Then we have a do-over.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
save the date, September 17th, 2022. It is going down. We want to see you.
Yes.
Harlem Night theme.
Yes.
A night to remember. So we're excited. Now, we are doing minimum capacity because we know that we are still in the midst of a pandemic, even though people like to think that we're not, but we are adhering to our restrictions.
Yes.
So you have to go to the website. You have to get your tickets. Tickets will go on sale February 18th. Okay, so tickets will go on sale early enough. We will be closed as soon as we hit that magic number. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is, but once we hit that number, it's shutting down. Just because you know me, I'm sorry, I can't help you. So don't be texting me and inboxing me trying to get like the last one we had. Now I ain't gonna put nobody's name out there.
Please don't get
People
the
want to
door.
wait until the last minute, and I'm looking all good, and y'all telling me, can I get you in? And I'm like,
Can I get something nice? Like we can't see you, and we over there shaking our head like.
So, no tickets will be sold at the door. Seriously. No tickets sold at the door for safety purposes. Masks, I know they're talking about the mandate being lifted, all that. Whatever is the case may be, we're still going to have all the restrictions in place, okay? And it will be minimum capacity, but I'm telling you, you do not want to miss it. We are going to have so much fun. So make sure you go to the website. Go ahead and start getting your tickets. We do have, you can get a whole table. Okay? Get a whole table. Remember that the funds from this fundraiser and this event is going to go directly to our girls. So so that's the business, and now back to the questions. So we talking about black health and wellness.
Okay.
And the importance of that as well. And we kind of all touched on that a little bit. And I know, Jay, you're a mental health expert. You see a lot. Okay.
Can we go back to the last question? The last thing I wanted to end with for the 16-year-old self and mental health in the workplace is obtain a therapist, a licensed, real therapist.
At 16?
For your career. When you get ready to get into your career.
Okay, but do you think that
when I tell my 16-year-old that stuff,
this
is the reason why.
Okay,
This is the only reason why, right? When we get into certain career fields, we don't think about everything that career entails, which is another thing, again, Divine Purpose offers. We ask those type of questions to know, okay, you pick this career, are you thinking about if you have this career in law enforcement and you do this, you're going to have a spouse that is readily available when you want to start a family because you need somebody that's grounded, right? If you want to be a nurse and you're dealing with some type of trauma, like in her field, you're probably going to need a therapist because a therapist needs a therapist. Those type of things. So when we talk about things, we really dive in to everything that your decision encompasses. So yes, that's why I would tell myself that at 16 because you're preparing for college.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to end with that.
And speaking of, so how do you view Black health in America, and especially even with our youth, from our youth on up to our adults?
It sucks.
I was about to say, I think we have the worst problems with health, so Sherry,
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's we talking about mind, body,
And
spirit, all of that. Yes.
Yeah, because I would say we're seen as Black women super strong.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that our pain level is as strong as how we are perceived.
Right.
Yes.
So, yeah, if there is a issue with getting the proper care for whatever your illness is.
Urgency.
So, oh yeah, because it's like we can, you know, it doesn't mean you'll be okay, you know.
Because we're not on the floor.
And
right.
this is the thing, know that you can demand whatever it is that you want.
Yes.
Sometimes your doctor may say, oh no, we don't think you need an MRI. Wait a minute, yeah, that's not fully your decision. If I feel it's something that I need, it's not coming out of your pocket.
Right.
That's
That's good.
But be an advocate for yourself. Be an advocate for, even if it's not for yourself, if it's for your mom, for your family. If you have time, sometimes we don't have time, you can take off work. Fortunately, I'm a consultant. And look, I'm looking for more work.
Okay.
You're thinking about a career.
That part.
Yeah. Know everything. Exactly. Exactly. All of that it's coming out of your pocket. But sometimes what I was going to say is, if someone in your family is having an issue, sometimes you may need to take a day off work or schedule it, or maybe you have to take a half day so that you can go with that person, so you can hear what the doctor is saying, so that too you can jump in to ask a question, because sometimes they in there quick, you know,
and you can tell them to slow down too. By the way, that's your time. They're paying for that. You control your visit. And we don't know that.
Exactly. So that advocating for yourself. Write your questions down.
Yes.
So that when you go in there, you are prepared. Like I said, research. If it's something now, you know, they say don't use WebMD.
But that's why you research to answer your question. Not going in there like you know.
Don't diagnose. You're not diagnosing.
Exactly.
You just
ask questions. I'm good for diagnosing myself.
I don't even go on the website. I'll be like, I'm diagnosed. I'll go in there like it's over. So I can't even. I don't know if they all WebMD.
But advocate for yourself, because I was going to a hospital, not gonna say which one, but they were doing things that wasn't copacetic.
Okay.
So me not fully advocating for myself, and I would ask questions, but then you're trusting that the doctor that you're
stuck with their answers.
You don't know what they're talking about. But this is what happened for me. I was riding in the car, and I heard another hospital's name being mentioned for the illness that I have. And so I just kind of, I disregarded it. But then I got in the car, like every time I get in the car and I turn on the radio, or I turn on the car and the radio's on, it's the same thing.
Divine order.
Listen, listen, sometimes we don't pay attention
to the signs.
To the signs. Your subconscious is not accepting what is being sent to you. And trust me, now I can say where I currently go, baby, they listen. Used to that, cause where I was going wasn't for Black people.
And that can be the case sometimes.
A lot of times. And you do have to pay attention to the warning signals in your body. I call it the check engine light. And as you getting older, it really be going. You're like, whoa, what was that?
Mine just be a oil change.
It be
that's falling out right now.
That whole thing, like there are certain things that you have to pay attention to your body.
Don't let somebody else tell you what you feel.
To your body. Advocate, speak up for yourself. Don't be embarrassed. Your life is on the line.
Exactly.
So you gotta speak up and say what's going on. Pay attention to your body. I don't think we pay enough attention to our bodies.
We're so used to
just how we were. How we were brought up. You okay? You'll be fine.
Exactly.
But a lot of times, you know, our parents didn't have money to just be going to the hospital. And so we had a whole lot of home remedies. You know, get some 7-Up and ginger ale. And call it a day. Most of us were not raised up just going even for regular checkups, dental, annual checkups,
your girly checkups, all of that.
Some of us were not, in our community, it's not a pressed issue, which it should be.
And guess what? You can change your doctor.
Exactly.
You're not stuck with that doctor.
Exactly.
Advocate for yourself.
Exactly.
That's
And if they're not paying attention to you, and they're not listening to you, because that's what
they don't deserve your money,
right? Keep paying them. Exactly. So please, yes, we do have to pay more attention to that. Those that have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews. Now I'm even on my nieces and nephews. Y'all doing your appointments.
Because we have some type of stigma
against
that black people do not go talk to somebody.
Pray about it.
Yeah,
God put there.
Prayer does help in certain things, but baby,
God
you have to be able to talk to somebody.
It's prayer and practical application.
Exactly.
You need the tools, and these people have gone to school. And I personally, I am gonna just put it out there. I prefer a black therapist because they understand our issues and our upbringing better than. Because if I tell people, "Mama, hi," but I'm not beat. But it wasn't like abuse, so
it was just before the part where I just thought my life was coming to my head.
My mama was a nurse, so she was able to bring me back. Telling another therapist that they're gonna be like,
they focus on that.
Oh my God,
that's not even what I came for.
Like, oh, that's normal.
Right. My first
Exactly.
introduction to the cordless phone was one in the back of my head. She told me to stand on her blinds and I was blending them. I didn't know things.
And I used to get smart and find myself on the floor.
But let's back up.
I started it.
That also is a taught behavior because of slavery. When you did something wrong, what did they do?
And
they beat you.
So we're not joking about it, and it's not funny at all.
No, it's not.
Discipline, there's boundaries, discipline, and different things like that. But with the mental health part of it, it's toxic behavior that was transferred down. And even I'm a mother, I have a son, I had to go back and apologize to him on certain things that I would say to him because of what was passed down. And now because I know better, I'm able to do better and speak more life and positivity and change that narrative for him. But you only know what you know. You see what I'm saying? And so when we're talking to certain therapists, I think that come from the same background and they can understand it. They can help. So even with that, they helped me understand how unhealthy some of the things were, and then how to change it, and gave me the tools. So it's like, okay, instead of saying this, try that. Instead of doing this, try doing this. So they give you tools. So therapy is good.
Yes, it is.
And prayer and all that good stuff.
And the other thing about with therapy is sometimes you can't talk to your best friend.
Right.
Like your sister. Because sometimes
it might take it the wrong way.
Exactly. So this person has nothing to do with your personal life, so they can give you
non-biased.
Exactly. And coping skills.
And don't need to take it personally because they don't know you like that.
Exactly. So
my
I'm
first
an
therapy
advocate.
was a Caucasian lady, but y'all know I don't have no sense. So when I went, it was kind of like Medea and Dr. Phil. I asked her to teach me how to cope and deal with corporate America as a black woman, and everybody I reported to was Caucasian.
Oh yeah, that's a hard one right there, because I didn't know where to start.
And guess what that showed me? You're not as good a therapist as you think you are.
Exactly.
Because I'm coming to you for how I want you to help me, right?
Exactly.
Not for me to tell you everything that's wrong with me and then you decide what's wrong with me and you can only focus on the part I didn't ask you to. No, I was very intentional when I went in because I'm paying you. I don't need 32 sessions. I'm telling you now. I need you to tell me from this day because in 5 minutes I'm going to jump across this table. So what I need you to tell me is, number one, why do you guys still treat us like that? And I want you to be honest. And I want you to be honest because that's what's going to help me help to break that layer that this person has, because this person, I believe, they have some passed down behaviors from slavery as well.
Oh,
But the majority of them is really nice. But when they get angry and defensive and scared, it reverts back to the place where they know they have the most strength and they know they have numbers with them too.
Right.
How do I help them treat me better? Because that's what's going to help me be better. Because I picked a field where nobody basically looks like me.
Yeah, in HR, yeah.
They don't.
Yeah,
Every door I walked in, they treated me like that. I didn't know you were so young. I did not have a good
Fortunately, I actually did have a good experience.
I was on the battlefield of the Giuseppe's and
yeah, and not all white people are bad.
Ever.
I just gonna say because that's how I got into HR.
Me too.
It was a white lady that she just saw something in me, and she was like, "Hey," she was like, "I think you'll be good in HR," and I was like, "Really?" I said, "Okay."
Her name was Mary Ellen, and she worked for Cox.
Her
in
name
Atlanta.
Yeah.
But guess where she was from?
What?
Atlanta.
Okay.
So I was like,
and look, my name,
she was amazing though.
Judy. And I don't know where Judy was from.
It'd be the Judys and the Mary Ellen for me.
Look, that's what I'm saying. But no, she gave me such a good, platform to because I started off in hiring, so what was called orientation now, which is now onboarding. But we would fly to different states. Exactly. Well, I used to work. I started out in aerospace.
Oh, wow.
And so so when a company would lay people off, we would fly there
with the police around the corner
and be house tight, have a job fair, and then try and get them to come to California.
So you didn't have to do. Wait a minute, real quick, y'all.
Okay.
You didn't have to do the layoffs.
No,
girl,
we was going to where they was getting laid off.
I would get flown in when they would do the mass layoff, because it's a layoff. Layoff means more than one. And I would literally have to have the police lined up around the corner because they thought we would behave a certain way. Most of us walked out and just went home because we was laid off. Some did not, but all of them knew don't try me. But the 360 back, not all white people's back, because Judy is the one that got me into HR. and what I'm still doing today, just because of her.
And that's like with any people.
Not all black people.
It's just we all are, because I'm living the experience of a black woman.
Exactly.
Then I kind of base it off of my experiences and what. So even with health and wellness and those different things, these are just our personal and our truth. We're not exaggerating like people will say, she's just exaggerating.
No.
And if people are honest with themselves, black, white, or whatever culture we are, but we all have stereotypes. We all
women in general have stereotypes.
Women, men, different cultures.
Women's month is next month.
And
I talk about that.
Exactly. And I think that we have to get comfortable with talking about uncomfortable topics.
Like, if it's uncomfortable, how do you think that person felt?
Yeah, this is how we're going to help heal, and it's how we help grow.
Exactly.
And I got that from therapy. And I'm a minister, licensed and ordained, and I still encourage. Like, these are tools that we learn. There are certain insights that you get that where you have those like aha moments. I don't know if you've ever been in a session and you're like,
I didn't see it like that.
Because the trauma that we've endured as a people, it will make you think all white people are bad. If you don't have
better parents, my parents made sure I did that.
And then I grew up in a very diverse family. Love all of my family. If you come to one of our family reunions, you won't know what we look like.
What is going on?
But from personal experiences, though, people outside
in the world,
because sometimes your family, that's just the exception.
Right.
They like us because they like him or her or whatever. So it's good to have these sessions and to be able to talk these things out, because again, it brings it to light. And then you're like, okay, I'm not off like I thought I was.
Exactly.
Okay, this is a real
wasn't me. It wasn't something I did. It's not that people don't like me.
Exactly.
a thing that person probably does. But how do we make sure that that person stops doing that? It should be a solve at the end of something.
There should be, and then what I've also learned is that sometimes people won't change, and it's how I respond to what, because sometimes people just, you know, like you said, based off of their upbringing, maybe they haven't done the inner work to get rid of the racism, the hatred,
which these
and then
companies need to
sometimes
be better at getting rid of.
like
I said,
we don't know, but then we have to start speaking up too.
That's the purpose of bringing it to light.
Say, this is what's going on, and there are
share your
policies
real experience
and procedures that do not condone that.
No.
And so you do have
And your
people that
employers have those employees.
stop being embarrassed to share your situation.
Yes, they do.
I would say that.
because sometimes you don't want people to be like, oh, here she goes.
I was just embarrassed at the beginning. Like, how did I let somebody
or
treat me
playing
like
a feminine card. Oh, because she's a woman.
Right.
She's saying that they're doing this.
Still
and it's
doesn't
like,
take it away from being true.
That was harassment. It was sexual harassment, and you know it's inappropriate. And I want to say something.
My first thing is, well, I expected that response because it's much better to attack the victim. So back to what I was saying.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I
Can you
told
write
you.
this report? Or not? Or do I need to go to?
Because I can write it myself. I have it written down already. I have a whole journal. Tell me
Are we going to handle this, or do I need to go take it somewhere else? I can do that.
Because I'll call the president at home.
Exactly.
Exactly. Sunday dinner.
And so we can't, like you said, we can't
minimize
because then that's going to affect your health. About health and wellness. Internalizing all of this stuff. I've known people on my job that have internalized this stuff to the point where they were in the hospital. I've known people that have passed away because of
suicide.
And definitely with the mental health, because they see no way out. This is their livelihood. This is how they pay their bills, and so they can't see a way out of it, and they end it. And so this is why, you know, we can laugh, we having a good time, but these are some really serious issues because people are, you know, they're not finding, like you said, the resolve. They don't see an end to the means.
And you know what? Sometimes just understanding somebody, right? So I don't have to go through what you go through directly to understand why you feel the way that you feel and be a shoulder that you could cry on or be that person that could help you with the situation. I don't have to go through something for that. And I definitely don't want to. I will be honest. There are all situations that all of us know about where we, in our heads, have either minimized it, we feel like it's overly used in a situation because there are people that divert to things because they did something so they're using to cover up, right? But in every situation, one of the lessons that Mary Ellen taught me was that she really taught me how to be able to function. I was about to break. Everything somebody tells you, take it from that person, brand new, just starting over. Now, you use your controls in the back of your head to ensure somebody can't run you over with it, but give them the right as a human to understand what they are saying and take it for what it's worth, because what's the worst that it could do? But if you don't, the worst that it could do is you could be the last person somebody talks to before they quit in their life, go into depression, any of that. And would you want that on your heart? And you wouldn't. The worst, only thing you have to do is just believe them, and it didn't hurt you at all. So say how you feel or what you have experienced to give them what they need. You could be that final person. So I will end with.
So that leads us to our last and final question. I cannot believe the time is so well. It was well spent, but it is spent. If you have,
it's well spent, but it's spent.
If someone has a loved one or a friend who may need mental health services, if you have you ever had to suggest that to them? If so, how did you go about doing that? Where you're not offending them, because
Have you ever thought about talking to somebody?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay,
You want to discuss them real smooth.
And then you want to make sure that they understand that you don't have to be ashamed of this.
Right.
You know, this is something that several people go through. And then talking to somebody who has not been around you is going to help you because they're looking at it from the outside perspective. So I always would encourage it. I mean, I talk to somebody every day. I work around therapists, you know. So I get therapy every single day. Sometimes I'd be like, I'm tired of this
I might not
place.
come back after lunch.
You know what I mean? Like,
tell me.
my nerves are bad, but I go in there, they listen to me, they empathize with me, and, they redirect me, give me some coping skills, go take a walk around the building,
Coping
you know what I mean?
Oh, yes,
Keep the glasses away from me so I don't throw nothing, little stuff like that, so
Yes.
I love it, I'm a big advocate for therapy,
That's good. And even for young people, like we were talking about the teenagers, they're dealing with so much with social media, bullying. Their issues, we had our set of issues growing up as well, but there's sometimes I'm looking at it's so much to
Because
process.
it's too much coming at them. We just have to deal with what was going on at our
In our
school.
school.
They got whatever is coming at them with their
Worldwide,
open page
globally.
because they're on social media.
On social media, really pay attention to this because
I think that's
a lot of
what
young people are taking their life or doing things that drugs and different things to get to cope. And so it's important that we also provide these tools of healthy coping skills to be able to process and deal with this stuff. So young people definitely, they have a lot of emotional things that's going on. And it's just a lot. So
And then listening can be like
Just them or
big
for us?
thing. No,
For us to listen.
for us to listen.
Okay.
For us to listen and paying attention. And
Pay
two,
attention.
that's good.
you have to pay attention. I have a daughter, and so what I would do every day, but then see, I learned this from my parents. Every day they ask me, Sherry, how was your day?
Right.
Every day they ask me, how was your day? Now, I can say, oh no, it was fine, and then go on about my business, but they ask me every day. And then if something truly was
If they
bothering
felt
me,
something in your voice or your spirit,
come
here.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a problem. Come here.
don't accept that one word answer, elaborate.
Listen to your kids.
Make it important to you, but make that important.
And if you get too many okays, still be like, well, come on, I just want to talk to you.
Exactly.
To know.
Right.
This is the number. It's on your card. This is where you look. That's why they need wives. I'm praying for him a good one.
Right.
Because, but until that comes, I'm like, look, this is the number. This is who you could call. This is the rest.
I like that you said until that comes.
Yes.
That's a whole nother
Because
topic.
yes.
Yes, a whole nother.
So, because I want to
But I like
pass
that you said until.
I want to pass the torch.
No go backs.
Even though I know she's going to be cussing me out in her head. Like, she done spoiled this man. She ain't going to. But it's okay. I would just humble down and be like, you right.
Logical thing.
I would be like, you right. I created a monster, but he's a loving one. But no. So when that happened, I was like, okay, sometimes we can be so busy doing our own thing. I had him at a young age, so now it's like, oh, it's my time. I can go and do my thing. And I'm doing it, he's doing his thing, but then that alarm will go off like, look, just in case you don't know, this is what's available to you. I'm like, they have tools that me and your dad don't have. I told them it's important to get a checkup on your mind.
That part.
Mental health.
We checking everything. We check Facebook, we check social media, we check everything, but you gotta check your mind.
There's a thin line between sanity and insanity. One incident, I studied in the summer different people that went through different things. So here's why people become really good at what they do. They engage in whatever it is and they speak to other people. The ones who know the best and are the best and people go to them is generally because it's something about that person's aura that says, I could be safe with them. But you want to know what it is that we feed our souls with all different types of people. Like I've talked to homeless people. I've talked to other overweight girls. I've talked to just an array of girls, the smaller, the pretty girls. I've talked to all different type of people, homeless, whatever, so that I can see what it's like from their perspective, because we all can say what it's like from our perspective, but when I give out advice and things, I don't want to give it out only based on what I've been through and my perspective. I want to have more, it gives you more in your mental
Yeah,
database.
sometimes you'll be like, with certain situations, the one that you're like, well, what was, your mom's is successful, you have all these things.
They don't get it.
So what's
That's the worst thing you can do to somebody too.
Rich people, You be like, you got all this
What's wrong? What could be wrong with you?
Why you want to
Don't
die?
notice they cut on the lights in every 30 pieces of room and ain't nobody in there.
Right.
Exactly.
Or nobody talking to them. They
Like,
only want to
yeah,
deal with it when they
yeah.
want something. They don't feel a true connection to somebody. That's the worst thing you can do is
Absolutely.
downplay what somebody is going through. Because it's not cool.
And
Only
sometimes looking on the outside, looking in, it's a whole different picture.
Only because they got that one piece you missing though. And again, you're not accounting the other things because somebody might look at us like they do. They're trying to tell us what we have and we like, do you know is either we try to tell y'all when the camera's off or whatever, baby, I got on pajamas, my hair in a clip. At 5 o'clock, this is me, I swear. On the couch or in my chair upstairs, I'm like, okay, I made it. I
Yes,
made it. Because it's hard. Life is life. Life is
Yes.
hard for everybody. Nobody has a book. So whatever stage you're in,
Exactly.
whatever that hard is, it's hard, period. What I will say, what I will say to close us out is that for any resources that you need, help or guidance, Divine Purpose is here. You can inbox us, and if it's during the off season, we're still a resource because we're a nonprofit for the community, and that's what all nonprofits should be doing. If we don't know, our job is to also help you to find it. The second piece is if your parents have a job where they have benefits, most jobs have what is called EAP, and that's Employee Assistance Program. 24 hours is for therapy, but it has more than just therapy. Especially now with like elder care for those people whose parents are getting COVID, there's a resource for getting a nanny, cleaning, all the things that contribute to keeping you okay. And really those things are things that contribute because they take the pressure off of you in other areas.
Because when you at work, you're trying to focus on work, but you can't sometimes because you got so much going on.
Or dishes in the sink over there. I don't want to pay somebody to clean those dishes. They've been there for 2 days. I ran water 4 times. I don't want to clean them because my mental state told me I don't want to. And I'm grown now. So they're going to sit there. But we're really, we like we said, we make light of things, but we make light of it because like Michelle, Sherry, Janisha, and myself also say, we are never fake in front of a camera. We were never fake when we post. We are all real. We are going through things every day. We go through things where we may call literally breaking down, Michelle, I need you to get on your knees with me and pray. And by the end of the call, we're like, yeah, so what happened with such and such? Because we have a peace within us, right? We are doing what we're supposed to be doing, but doing what we're supposed to be doing, life is life. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But each time it gets easier. Whatever it is that we are going, you just gotta keep going. You just have to keep going and focus on the beautiful part, but don't neglect yourself with the part that needs some attention.
Keep going, but when you need to take a break, take a break.
Yeah,
When you need to take a nap, take a nap.
When you need to say you weak.
Yes, it's okay. Like,
And it's okay to say no.
Yes.
We have a hard
Time
saying.
That was my
I don't anymore.
my first meeting with the girls. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
not anymore. I
Not
think
anymore,
people
but I
mad
used to.
about it.
Yeah.
Because they like, wait, what?
I'm not gonna make it.
But we've learned to know, but teaching others that
And these our young girls, our girls, and I'm like, if they can learn what I know now,
Yeah.
if we can teach that and pour that into them at their ages, they'll be
They
so
will be
far
so
ahead of us.
dynamic.
By the time they get to this stage in life, my goodness.
But
that's
social
what we
media
need
has
to do.
created this people pleasing, and we already had it.
Oh yeah.
So to make it worse, oh my lantern. Yeah, we totally be trying to reverse that, and at least use it to your benefit or something. I don't know, but it's too much.
All right. Well, the chicken wings you did not finish. That's how you eat chicken wings. It's still meat.
Just wasteful.
This one I'm gonna
It's
say
still
is
meat on the bones.
in honor of Black History.
Right.
This one got meat. I'm very clear it had meat.
Okay.
This one is skin, and they didn't make it well done like I asked.
Okay.
I don't eat slimy things.
Look at my plate,
They
y'all.
did it
I
the
was a
right
good
way.
eater.
I'm a messy eater, so I'm saying mine.
It's people that like try to compete with you.
I'm the winner. And she did it.
That's how you eat chicken wings.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, we're so glad y'all joined us
Thank
today
you,
on this
thank you.
beautiful
Wanna close this out?
afternoon. No, close this out.
She already
Segue
made all of
into
the announcements mid program to ensure that we got them in. Thank you for joining us. We will try to do as many of these we can, as much as we can. Of course, everybody knows we don't just walk in and sit at the table. It's a whole thing that happens before, but we will try our best. What we will be investing in is the ability to be remote and to tap in remote, because that environment is much more realistic. But to ensure that I keep my board connected and I make sure that I show them that I care. This is more so, it wasn't for you guys. I'm just sorry guys. No, I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar. It was because I wanted to see them and we needed to be together because it's been a minute. And when
Black History Month.
Yes.
And we love our
Whatever they want to say. Whatever they want to say.
And if you do have those questions or topics or something you want us to address, we have, if it's on law enforcement, self-defense, HR, all of these different things, we'll give you a little bit, but you got to be a part of the program to get the whole
Like 30 minutes.
part of it. But if you have, basic questions, we're here to help you. We're here for the community. So you can inbox us right here on Divine Purpose, right here on Instagram with your questions, any concerns. You can go to our webpage. Again, we are a 501c3.
Instagram.
Yes, go ahead, DM us, message us with any questions that you might have. Maybe you have a question about tonight's topics that we talked about. If you might need any resources, we do have that available for you as well. So as she said, it's for us, but we are here for you, so make sure you reach out to us. There's a lot going on with this pandemic.
Yes.
People's jobs, people losing jobs. So we have some very resourceful people right here. If you need work, or we'll try to get information to you.
I'm always looking for work.
Those that are looking to go to school right now, higher education. That's what we're here for. So reach out to us. That's what we're here for you. And we can't come to you. Y'all gotta come to us, okay?
Exactly.
So we're here.
She is the
Make that first
game.
step.
First of all,
Make that first step.
that part.
Take the first step.
And complete the steps we tell you. Because I am the TT. Queen TT, that is me. And I have rules. And if you don't follow the rules.
And follow the
that will
pages, Queen TT.
I'll list them all.
Okay, it'll be on there.
Yep,
So
I'll
follow
make sure
us. It'll be in the link. So the link will be in the bio.
You know how you say, know your strengths? So y'all see I said, Michelle, do you want to close something? She said, no, that's you. And I said, okay. And I said 2 sentences. But you see how I started getting my carrot out. Get you a team that's for you, boo. I'm saying. Get you a team that roll with you and they strengthen you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Love
But that is it
Love
from us. And we are going to go do what we do now. And you guys do what you do. Oh, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Black History Month and all that good
those of
stuff.
us that's going to get a 3-day weekend. All of that. Well, go ahead with your 4 days. Super Bowl is on Sunday, which is like an unofficial holiday for other people. I just show up for the food and the halftime show. So that's what I was about to represent. So, yeah.